Welcome everyone to this afternoon session on the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship. I'm happy to introduce our two presenters today. We have Kendyl Puhan. Kendyl currently works at Washington State Opportunity Scholarship, WSOS. WSOS helps low and middle income Washington students earn degrees, certificates, or apprenticeships in high demand trade, healthcare, or STEM fields, and launch careers in Washington State. As the communications specialist at WSOS, Kendyl develops marketing and communications content that targets student audiences. Before WSOS, Kendyl spent 2 years working in tech PR at communications agency Revere, where she drove integrated communications and PR programs for a range of clients in industries such as artificial intelligence and marketing. She graduated from Seattle University in 2019 with her bachelor's in communication and media and specializations in strategic communication and communication studies. Kendyl strongly believes in the power of storytelling to enable positive change and is passionate about breaking down barriers and improving access to education. So thanks for being here, Kendyl. And our second speaker is Aileen Tubo. Aileen is the awards manager at the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship, WSOS. And she has invested over 10 years in her career in the college access and success field, supporting historically marginalized students in navigating their college journey. She manages and oversees the baccalaureate scholarship and supports the scholarship administration of all the scholarships WSOS provides. So thank you, Aileen, for coming and presenting, and I will turn the session over to the two of you.
All right,
Awesome.
Thank you, Shannon. And to present our PowerPoint, do we request for control?
Oh, you should be able to present.
Oh, sure.
You should have permission.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So yeah, we're super excited to be here. Thank you, Shannon, for the introduction. We know baccalaureate is quite a mouthful, so we totally understand a lot of to say. But yeah, we're really excited to be here and share more details about one of the ways you can fund your education, which is through the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship. So to kick off our presentation, we'd actually love to learn more about who all is here in our virtual room. So if all the students want to drop their name and the school or the area you're from, that would be awesome. There we go. So our mission here at WSOS is to build pathways into high demand Washington careers for Washington students. So you might not know, but Washington has one of the fastest growing state economies with more trade, healthcare, and STEM jobs than we can fill. So here at WSOS, we really want to connect some of our state's leading industries with some of the top Washington talent by reducing barriers that can often stand in the way of being able to get an education and training. So to do this, we work with our state and industry partners, and I'll share more about the 3 main scholarship programs that we offer. I will talk through a little bit of our scholarships here. So our first scholarship program is the Baccalaureate Scholarship. So this is for folks looking to get a bachelor's degree in STEM or healthcare. This is our flagship program, and students can apply once a year during January. And again, this is a really high-level overview. Aileen will be digging into more specifics later on. We also have our Career and Technical Scholarship. So this is for folks looking to get an apprenticeship, associate degree, or certificate. And students can actually apply for this 3 times a year in the fall, winter, and spring. And part of the Career and Technical Scholarship also includes the Rural Jobs Initiative, which again, Aileen will get to later on. And then finally, we have the Graduate Scholarship, GRD, which is for folks looking to get a Doctorate of Nurse Practice, DNP. And the application period is open once a year in the spring. So now I'm going to share a little bit more about the programs that are eligible. I know most of you folks are probably interested in healthcare, but we also wanted to paint an idea of some of the other programs that we have that are eligible for both of our scholarships. So here on the slide, you can see that for the baccalaureate scholarships, some of the eligible programs include these lists here. The top one is some of our more popular programs. So computer science, biochemistry, computer engineering, and then there's also some other programs that you might not think of when you think about STEM. So some of these include a math teacher, health and wellness, speech language pathology / pathologist, animation, interactive technology, video graphics, and special effects. So again, just kind of a wide array of programs. And then for the Career and Technical Scholarship, we have some of the more popular ones like nursing, software development, civil engineering technology, and then some other programs as well, like Fire Recruit Academy, auto body repair, commercial pilot, carpentry, game design, and a plumbers and steam fitters apprentice. So this is just like a little bit of a sampling of the programs that are eligible for both of our scholarships. I would highly encourage you to check out our website for the full list of programs that are eligible. And you can just search for anything that you're interested in to make sure that it does indeed qualify for our scholarships.
All right,
Okay.
This is the important visual.
Yes, the other ones were not as helpful visually. They were more just listing some of the programs that I mentioned out loud. But yeah, as you can now thankfully see here on this handy dandy flowchart, this just takes you through some questions to get at which program is probably the best fit for you. So starting at the top, do you intend to earn an associate degree, apprenticeship, or certificate? If you answered yes to that question, you go down to the left here, and it asks you another question, which is immediately after getting your associate degree, apprenticeship, or certificate program, do you want to go on to get a bachelor's degree? And if you answered yes to that question, you would want to apply for the baccalaureate scholarship. If your answer is no, and you just want to keep with your associate degree, apprenticeship, or certificate, then you would want to apply for CTS. So there's kind of two pathways there, as you can see. And then if we go back up to the top, if you know from the get-go, like, yes, I want to go and get my bachelor's degree, I don't want to go and get my associate degree, apprenticeship, or certificate first, then you would definitely apply for the baccalaureate scholarship. So it is pretty straightforward, but it can be a little bit hard when you're getting to know our scholarship. So this is a super helpful flowchart, and there's a lot more information on our website that can help you with this decision as well.
All control. I can do myself.
Okay. Now I will pass you to Aileen, and she's going to share some more specifics about our financial aid and the 3 scholarships that I talked very high level about.
Do you want to switch so you can monitor the chat? All right. Hi, everyone. Okay, so WSOS is more than just financial aid. So of course, we support students with flexible funding, but we also provide services to make sure that students who are selected are receiving mentorship, professional development, and networking opportunities. So we really help students holistically to achieve success from their first day in campus to the launch of their professional careers in Washington State. So WSOS can cover up to cost of attendance. So what this means is that it includes tuition, fees, housing, transportation, food, and any other expenses related to your education. And by covering students' cost of attendance, our hope is that students graduate on time and with less debt. So next slide, please. So as Kendyl shared earlier, we offer 3 scholarships, but today I'm focusing on the baccalaureate and the CTS scholarship. So beginning with the baccalaureate scholarship, it does fund students who are pursuing a 4-year degree in a high demand STEM or healthcare major and for those students who are enrolled in Washington State College, private or public institution. The scholarship does award up to $22,500 for up to 5 years. And here's the breakdown of what would be an anticipated amount for each year. And currently we fund over 120 high demand STEM and healthcare majors. And the next application cycle for those of you who are interested in applying for the baccalaureate scholarship, it will be open on January 2023. For the Career and Technical Scholarship, so this scholarship supports students who are on path to a high demand trade, STEM, and healthcare occupations. And for those students who are attending a community or a technical college in Washington State. So this scholarship awards up to $1,500 per term for the duration of the program. So we're saying here per term because each program, depending on whether you're in a certificate, apprenticeship, and associate degree program, can really range from 1 quarter to like 2 years. So currently we have over 1,000 trade, STEM, and healthcare programs eligible for this scholarship. And the CTS application for fall quarter. So for those of you who are in your senior year of high school or later, you are eligible to apply. And it is currently open right now and it closes June 5th. So if you plan on starting this fall quarter, I would recommend to apply for this scholarship. And Kendyl mentioned the Rural Jobs Initiative. So the Rural Jobs Initiative is a CTS initiative that funds students, particularly those in rural counties, because we've learned that rural residents face a considerable amount of barriers in accessing community and technical colleges, and rural communities really struggle to attract and retain talent. And so our goal for this initiative is to ensure that those who are furthest from the state's community and technical colleges have a path to earning a credential that will lead to a high demand job in their rural community. There is no separate application for the Rural Jobs Initiative. If you are applying for the CTS scholarship, you can be considered for rural jobs. And so we break down the funding here, you would get an additional $3,500 for the first quarter, $2,500 for the second quarter, and then anything after that to the completion of your program, you get $2,000.
Okay, so now that we've talked about our scholarships, we want to talk about part of what makes the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship pretty unique compared to a lot of other scholarships, which is that we provide scholar support services. So some of the services are listed here on the screen, but this includes scholarly peer mentoring. So this is when first and second year scholars are connected with their peers who are further along in their academic career, and they just provide support and assistance to the first and second year scholars as they navigate college and get acquainted with the WSOS experience in their first couple of years. College can be really scary and there's a lot of things happening, so it's really nice to be able to have someone who's not only a little bit older and maybe has some more experience, but is also a scholar, so they can also answer any questions about the scholarship and some of the milestones involved. So in addition, we also have our formal industry mentorship program. So this is really awesome. In this industry mentorship program, you're paired with a formal mentor in the industry, and they basically help you foster your network, gain soft skills, work on your resume, your cover letter, connect you with other folks, and just answer questions you might have about what tips you have for interviewing, or how do I get coffee with someone. Just, it's nice to have someone kind of on your side that is already in the industry and that can help you get a foot in the door. And then finally, there's Industry Insider. So this is really cool. This is essentially giving you access to internship and work-life experiences. And the positions are from companies who have specifically committed to reviewing applications from scholars. So they have said, like, I want to see applications from opportunity scholars. So it's really exciting, really great way to, again, kind of get your foot in the door for some of those experiences. So we also wanted to provide just an example of some of the journeys that scholars might have when they're a Washington State Opportunity Scholar. So up first, we have Elliot. So Elliot attends the University of Washington to pursue a 4-year degree studying to become a math teacher. So she graduates from UW in 5 years and gets a job at a high school nearby. She receives funding and programming support. So the money that we talked about earlier, along with some of those scholar support services from the Baccalaureate Scholarship, all 5 years. And she participates as a scholar lead, where she provides peer mentoring to other scholars. Student 2, Sophia attends Spokane Community College studying computer science, and he knows he eventually wants to transfer to a 4-year university. So after 2 years, he transfers to Central Washington University to finish his bachelor degree in computer science. So he graduates after 2 years there and begins working at Microsoft as a software engineer. Then he receives funding and programming support from the Baccalaureate Scholarship all 4 years, including having a mentor who works at Microsoft and helped him get a job there. So even though he started out at community college, the Baccalaureate Scholarship was still the scholarship that funded him through his academic journey. Student 3, we have high school graduate Stephanie, who's searching for an opportunity to learn on the job and get paid. So Stephanie completes a plumber's and steam fitters apprenticeship at Bates Technical College, and she receives funding and programming support from CTS throughout her apprenticeship, including having a mentor who works in the plumbing industry. So that was like just some information about our scholarships, some example journeys. I'm not sure if there have been any questions in the chat or not, but if folks have any right now, feel free to put them in, or if they come up later, you can always reach out to the 2 emails that are listed on the screen. If you have questions about the application, if you're eligible, contact the awards at email. And if, again, anytime you have questions, you can feel free to reach out. There's also a ton of information on our website, so I would definitely encourage you to check that out as well. Do you have a question?
Thanks. We had one, which is just to put the email addresses into the Zoom chat. So I can do that. And if anyone else has questions, okay. So Alejandra asked, how would I know if I'm eligible?
So Alejandra, if you would know if you're eligible if you go to our website. So also in our application, we built in an eligibility check to answer a series of questions for applicants who are interested in making sure that you do meet the scholarship requirement. So I know that's something that we nearly covered in this slide, but essentially if you are a Washington State resident going to a Washington State college pursuing any of these eligible majors, that's pretty much like the foundational requirement. We do have an income requirement where the household income is no more than the 125% median family income. And right now, this will mean nothing to you. You have to visit our website to see what that is. And so also for baccalaureate specifically, you have to graduate from a Washington State high school. For CTS, you do not have to graduate from Washington State high school, but you do have to be a resident and attend a Washington State college.
Great, thanks, Aileen. The next question that we have is asking if you could repeat when the application's open for the baccalaureate scholarship.
Yeah, so the application for the baccalaureate scholarship will open in January 2023. So it's quite a ways from now. We just selected our cohort 11, which just closed actually this last March. Yeah, so we just selected the students this last month.
Awesome, exciting for those students.
Yeah, screen sharing so that we can actually see the folks.
Okay, yeah, people don't have their cameras on, but hopefully you will have a few more questions come in. I think in Cadence people weren't supposed to come off mute, but maybe it is okay if someone wants to just unmute and ask a question. Otherwise, please keep putting them in the chat.
We love to hear the voices.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have a couple more questions in the chat. So how rigorous is the process? And then is there finalists, interviews, like kind of what does that whole process look like?
Great question. So the applications are all online. Basically, the requirement to have a complete application is answer all the questions. There's there will be a profile section, which we collect demographic information. We have an academic section, which shows what school are you going into, what major are you going into, what high school you're graduating from. We have a financial section where you're just confirming if you do meet the eligibility requirements. We're collecting information about your FAFSA or your WSPA. And the other part that's really important is the essay questions. So for the baccalaureate scholarship, we have 2 essay questions. One is measuring your commitment to a STEM or healthcare career. The second question is just measuring how do you respond to adversity. So really just measuring resilience on that front. For the CTS, there's only 1 essay question, which does also speak to how well you respond to adversity and also measuring resilience. So for the most part, everything's online. Baccalaureate, we do require a transcript. It can be unofficial, so that will be uploaded into the application online. And then for both baccalaureate and CTS, we require that students submit a FAFSA or a WSPA, just because we want to make sure you're maximizing your financial aid package so that we will be supplementing that in addition to whatever else you would be qualifying for.
I feel like our application too is a lot simpler than a lot of scholarship applications. So that's a great part of it is I think some students have said they finished it in less than an hour.
Yeah.
So it's not very rigorous at all. And our team is always here to support too when you have questions or if you might need help, if you run into any issues. So yeah, I would say it's definitely worth a shot to apply because it really isn't that much of a lift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Essays,
yeah,
for sure.
we have a couple of specific questions. So I will just mention for everyone who is here, the email addresses that were on screen are now in the chat. So be sure to take note of those. Awards at scholarship.org. Well, it's in the chat if I didn't say that right. Be sure to cut and paste that into your email so that you can email either the awards or the info email. And so then the questions that we still have, we only have a minute, over a minute to finish up. So someone asks, if I'm in my senior year about to graduate, can I apply for the baccalaureate scholarship, or do I have to wait until I'm done with my bachelor's degree?
So if you are in your senior year of high school, I think Alejandra, I think you mentioned you were a senior year in high school, you should apply for the baccalaureate degree later at the next cycle. So you shouldn't wait until you're done, because we only fund students who have not completed a bachelor's degree.
Okay. And then the second one is it possible that if someone changed majors, would the baccalaureate scholarship go along with them for the new major, or would they have to apply for a scholarship under their new major?
It's a really great question and a very layered question. Essentially, as long as you are in an eligible major, you can take the scholarship with you.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. I want to give you a chance to say goodbye. It was a great session. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. And yes, please email us for the rest of the questions.
Yes. Thank you so much for attending our session today.